What's going on, guys? This is Jagnal back again with another video, and today we're going to be going over the 3 questions I still have about EA College Football 25 after the trailer has been released, as well as some notes that have been dropped on their blogs and some other discussion on social media. So these are the 3 questions I still have, and before we get into that, I just want to say thanks to everyone, to all you guys for putting in your feedback and comments in my last video. I didn't expect it to get as many views and engagement as I thought it did. I thought it was gonna get maybe 100 views and maybe a few comments and a few likes, but I'm really thankful for the amount of feedback that we got and the discussions that was happening in the comment section. I think the comments here in the comment section, it can be a great way to have great discussions and really foster a cool community of people who just love college football and are excited for this game. So if you do like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, be sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and again, comment your thoughts. These are 3 questions I have, but I know you guys probably have more questions, so sound off your comments and your questions in the comment section down below. All right, let's get into it. So the number 1 question I have is the gameplay. Is it going to play like Madden? That has probably been the most divisive question that has been, about this game. Is it going to be a Madden reskin? Now, I do think that this game won't be a Madden reskin just based off how much they've done with the immersion and the features and how each team kind of has everything kind of built out from a tradition standpoint. Just by that, I don't think it's going to be a Madden reskin. However, the gameplay does look similar to Madden, I will say that, and the models do look similar to Madden as well. However, I have seen some newer models that look cool and look different as well. So I don't think it's just going to be a Madden reskin, but I do think it's going to be more similar to Madden 24 than it will be NCAA 14. And you got to keep that in mind, guys. The Madden 24-25 game is running off of the Frostbite engine as well as this game, while NCAA 14 was on the, I think was on the, not the Ignite, the Infinity engine. So it was 2 engines ago. So of course it's not going to look the same, it's not going to play the same, and NCAA 14 did have a lot of animations in that game. I think the biggest thing is, will the gameplay feel like a skill driven, like you can actually control everything, or is it going to be like RNG like some Madden games in the past? And if you look at the blog, you can notice that EA Sports has put in some notes about how the game is going to be a little bit different. For example, they have this marketing tagline called Campus IQ, so that's something that they're going to be going with this game, and it seems like they're trying to make this game feel different than Madden, with things saying, with some things I've looked at is having it be more fast paced, have it be more authentic to college football, and having dozens of diverse play styles across the 134 teams. So that is cool to see how they're gonna do that, and it's like some schools have different playbooks and different play styles. So I think it's gonna be cool to see how they do that. But when you look at one of the bullet points under the Campus IQ on their blog, it has a thing that says wide open, fast-paced gameplay. And reading it says, powered by a wide range of player ratings that fluctuate throughout a game, team tiers, and a new in-game passing mechanics, EA Sports College Football 25 delivers strategic, fast-paced gameplay reflecting the true depth of college football. I think this is probably the biggest way that this is going to be different from Madden. I mean, the fact that they are doing a new in-game passing mechanic, you see in the trailer, I mean, you saw one of that Jalen Milroe pass, he was throwing a very high-arcing ball, and there's been people on social media saying that what we saw in the game in terms of gameplay is actually in the game. So that's really cool that high-arcing pass that Travis Hunter ended up catching in the second scene shows that there's going to be, different passing mechanics. I think that's awesome. That's a huge win already. But then also talking about the different range of ratings, which I think is probably the biggest part about college football, is that, you might be on a small school, but you might have a star player that's just 20 overalls better than everyone else. And it just, you can tell that player is just way better. And if you have a first round pick at wide receiver and he's playing against a 3-star corner that's just average, of course this person's going to torch him. That's just kind of how it works. So it's cool that they have that. And then another thing I've noticed is team tiers. So it seems like they are going to have break it down based off the top level teams, and then it's kind of how, like, when people come out with their list at the beginning of the year, like, these are championship contenders, these are playoff contenders, these are, people that could win this many games. And that's just kind of how college football is based on. Like, there's not going to be, every team's going to make the playoff. And it's like in NCAA 14, I've seen Army make the playoff many, many times, or they've gone undefeated. And I think that's kind of weird. So it's cool that they have these different team tiers. So I'm excited to see how that would work in sim as well as playing in the game. So that is kind of, and then also the wear and tear system and all the other features that they're talking about, which those seems like good updates, and I think it will kind of make the game feel different than Madden, but I do think it's going to be similar, guys. I mean, you can't really, stray away from that. I don't think it's going to be a reskin, but I do think it's going to be similar. So that is my first question. Next question would be, what is the road to the college football playoff? Like, how is this game mode going to work? So road to the college football playoff is the 4th game mode that was released or unveiled with this game. The first 3 were kind of a given: Dynasty, Road to Glory, and Ultimate Team. We kind of expected these to all come back. They weren't like officially announced, but everyone was saying these were the game modes that were going to be in. And before, people were saying Ultimate Team is going to ruin the game. Ultimate Team was in NCAA 14. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that Ultimate Team has been a part of the game, even though it was the last year, but it still didn't break the game. I mean, obviously the base game of NCAA 14 was good enough anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Road to the college football playoff is the game mode that we are talking about, because this is the first thing that we haven't really seen that is actually, going to be confirmed to be in the game. So looking at the road to the college football playoff, experience a new way to play competitively across consoles in the road to the college football playoff. Will you represent your university or take a powerful school to climb the polls? Earn rank by upsetting the toughest opponents and securing the votes you need to progress and level up divisions. Stack wins and earn your chance at making the playoffs, and then take home the national championship. I really think that this road to the college football playoff mode is going to be sort of a similar to Ultimate Team and Dynasty, in terms that you'll probably be playing with a team that is like in the game, so it's not like a team that you create, but it's going to have the structure of how like Ultimate Team seasons work. Like, I think it's, if you play as a smaller school and you beat bigger schools, you get more points, and it does seem like it's kind of going with the AP poll kind of model where you gain votes by winning, and I think it's just a point system. So like, if you win as a smaller school, you gain 30 points, but if you win as like Alabama, you gain 5 points, something like that. So it allows you, like, the good players who are really good at the game, maybe play as a tiny school and just try to beat all the big schools that all the not as good players will be using, and then you can secure your spot into the playoff. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to play off. Like, is this something that you can just play at your own pace, or is this something that you play in one go? Like, is this going to be like an hour thing where you play your games and then go into the playoff? I'm interested to see, because I know in terms of like Ultimate Team, you kind of play your seasons and you just match up with someone, and it's like a 3 strikes you're out, I believe, or 2 strikes or something like that. Once you lose a certain amount of games, you're kicked out of the, like, your season's over. And then if you win a certain amount of games, you guarantee your spot at the playoff, and then you'll then start playing against other players who are also qualified for the playoff. So I wonder how that's going to work in terms for the college football version. I do think it's going to use the same system as Ultimate Team, so that will be interesting. And it does say, talking about things playing across consoles, so it does seem like that's going to be a big cross-play feature, and Ultimate Team does have cross-play as well, so I do think it's going to be built off of that, but I'm just excited to play with that. And I think it would be cool to see, if you're really good at the game, maybe play as a small school, and it might be, if you play with them, you're like, oh, this might be a team I might want to play with Dynasty, just seeing like all the the features of the team and all the traditions. So I'm interested to see more about this game, this game mode, because we don't know much about it. So I do think that this might be one of the game modes that I'm most excited for. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. I do think, I probably won't play as much as Dynasty, but it would be something to play, just see, what's it about, and if I want to play something more competitive, and that will be interesting to see. So that's my second question. And last but not least, customization. How much customization are we going to have in this game? So in terms of Dynasty, how much control are we going to have over custom conferences? Like, can we change up the conferences? Will Create a Conference be in the game? I have a feeling that Creative Conference may not, but customized conference, this is something that's been in NCAA 14. I really think the bar should be at NCAA 14. Like, give it the same amount of customization as NCAA 14 and build off of it from there. It seems like they are doing that, at least with Team Builder coming back, and hopefully it is updated with more features that kind of reflect, its 11 year absence, the gap. There should be at least some new features. I hope it's just not the same website with a new coat of paint. That would be really disappointing in my opinion. But in terms of conferences, can you update your conferences? Can you move teams around? Can you move them across divisions? Can you eliminate divisions? Can you give me as much customization with my conferences as possible, within reason, without breaking the game? So that would be something that I would like to see. Another thing is coaching staff. So they did talk about how in Dynasty you can create a coach, take control, upgrade abilities, and establish your coaching staff. But can you start off as an offensive coordinator? Can you start off as a defensive coordinator? That's been one of my favorite things to do in NCAA 14, is start off as an offensive coordinator at a one-star school, and then just build my way up to becoming a head coach at a one-star school, and then taking better and better jobs, kind of going in the kind of the, I would say, the path that people in real life take. Like in NCAA 14, you can kind of go from a one-star school to a 6-star school after a year, and I don't think that's as realistic as possible as it should be, unless you're really, really good. So I do think if they do have this kind of coaching carousel in the game, that's more realistic. But again, you can also choose to take a lower tier job and kind of go at your own pace. So I don't think that's really that big of a deal, but they should have this in the game. I really would be disappointed if they don't have the option to start off as an offensive coordinator. And again, another thing is establish your coaching staff. Do you get to hire coordinators? Because in NCAA 14, you don't get to do that. So if your offensive coordinator leaves, you just get a new one. And the thing is that that OC may or may not be at a high level. So you may promote somebody and they'll be a level 0, or someone gets fired and you bring in someone as a head coach and you bring them in as an OC, and they may already be a really high level and will have all those abilities. So that is something to keep in mind. Again, NCAA 14 is kind of the gold standard when it comes to customization and Dynasty. So I am interested to see what kind of customization they will allow in the game. Obviously, we have Team Builder, so the creating your own school is something that's going to be back, and I think that is a real a cool feature. But other thing about Dynasty is kind of the things that aren't really relative to the actual game. So in the trailer, we noticed Penn State had a whiteout, so that is a huge thing. And I made a question about, is this going to play, is this going to be the default crowd? Is the whiteout going to be the crowd that they always do? And I think that would have been kind of lazy for them to do. But it does seem like, if you look into the trailer, Penn State does have a part where their drum major is doing a backflip, I think, or some flip, and the crowd is navy and white. So it does seem like there's going to be multiple crowd options. Now I wonder, how is that triggered? So is this something that you can coordinate? Can you coordinate when you're creating your own schedule? Oh yeah, that's another thing. You can create your own schedules in NCAA 14. You should be able to do that in this game as well, creating your own schedules. Maybe in that screen you can designate it as a homecoming game or a special game, and that will trigger that custom crowd. So I don't think every team needs checkerboard stripes and stuff, but the main ones, Tennessee getting the checkerboard, Penn State getting the whiteout. If you can designate a game for that, I feel like that would be really cool. But it does seem like there is going to be some of that in some way. A lot of people were saying if it's a night game, it's going to trigger it. I wish it wasn't the case, because there's times where you'll see your team playing a night game against a tiny school. You don't want that to be a whiteout game. A whiteout game is when you're playing the Ohio State, you're playing the Michigans, and you can actually put the game at night because you're not playing Fox. It's not gonna be big noon kickoff at Fox. So really, that's kind of be it for me for today. Those are my questions that I have for the game. What do you guys have? What other questions do you have about this game? I want to see what your thoughts are and what you think about my questions and what I think is going to be, what might be the answers to these questions. But let me know what you think. Again, I love the really the community that we're starting to build in the comment section and all that. I really appreciate all of you guys for all the support you've been bringing to the channel after the one video I've made in forever. I used to be a Minecraft YouTuber and all that, and that was fun at the time, but that was before I went to college, and now I'm out, and now I'm just focused on playing this game and maybe playing with you guys. Maybe we could start an online Dynasty and stuff. I'm buying an Xbox now, I can tell you that. Other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. Any other questions? This might be a part 2, and some of these questions might be answered by like Tuesday or something, so we should find out more info soon. I'm trying to get this video out as soon as possible, but other than that, this has been Jagnal, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day.